Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in the grind, no escape from me. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see I'm just a poor boy, scraping by minimum wage. Born in the shadows of the city lights, concrete cradle under endless nights. Daddy worked 2 jobs, mama prayed for rain. Bills like chains rattling around my brain. But I read the books when the wolves were at the door. Charts and candles on the bedroom floor. Stocks in the morning, real estate at noon. Silver and gold under the harvest moon. Sweat on my collar, fire in my veins. Every dollar saved was breaking free from the pain. They said play it safe, boy, stay in line. Clock in, clock out till the end of time. But the system's a cage with a velvet disguise, promising heaven while it steals your life. Rise from the ashes I built my throne. Turn pennies to empires of my own. Stocks and stones, bricks of gold, silver rivers in the stories I told. I broke the wheel, I broke the road, golden chains, no more. Golden chains, no more. I sold my fear for a pocket full of grit. Learned the hard math, made the numbers fit. While they were laughing, I was making my move. Every red defeat had something left to prove. Late night hunger and a borrowed chair, 1 cracked lamp and 1,000 stairs. I watched the weak hands fold and bend, then I doubled down and called it the end. Now the same old names come crawling back, knocking on my door with their polished stack. But I know that sound, I know that price. I paid in blood for this smaller life. They said stay small, boy, stay in line. Clock in, clock out till the end of time. But the system's a cage with a velvet disguise, promising heaven while it steals your life. Rise from the ashes I built my throne. Turn pennies to empires of my own. Stocks and stones, bricks of gold, silver rivers in the stories I told. I broke the wheel, I broke the road, golden chains, no more hope. Golden chains, no more. If I fall, let the tables.
All right, all right. Thanks for being here. I'll let the intro music go a little bit longer this evening. I hope you guys don't mind here. I want to talk just a couple things, covering different parts of the metals and the scarcity of key dates and such like that. Well, another thing I was thinking about for a topic was the fact that we as in not just the stacking community, but honestly just kind of becoming people in general, we seem to be so addicted to news cycles. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. It's like we're more informed than ever before. We have more sources of information. We're more, that doesn't mean it's always truthful, but we have more sources of information. It's a constant feed of things to just dive into and learn about and discover. And then I think also human nature, right, is we try to connect dots. We try to make rationalizations out of irrational things, and we try to understand cause and effect to the best of our ability for whatever reason, just to understand our circumstance, or maybe it's a survival instinct, I don't know. But I feel like oftentimes all this stuff ends up becoming such noise that it's going to distract you from whatever your goals are. and whatever your plan is. So with that being said, hello ASC guy, E. Rodriguez, what's going on? Silver Serpents of Brilliance, good to see you again. Thanks for popping in here. Yeah, so I've been watching this like lately. You know, every time silver or gold has any kind of a move in any direction, you know, up, down, left, right, it doesn't matter. There's all these people that are like so quick, and it's like their whole goal is to just try to justify and understand every single price movement. Whereas, like, you know, it could be, you know, at the end of the day, it could be just a couple institutions are having a sip of coffee and they decide to send a memo saying, hey, move some of our silver position into a different asset. And then we all freak out because we see this giant red candle of all these contracts being sold or something. And then the world and life goes by the rest of that day, and then there's like 10 events that are completely uncorrelated to whatever just happened that morning while they were sipping their coffee. And yet then 1,000 people will create YouTube videos, and they'll have, you know, special guests and speakers on of some random people that you've never ever heard their name of, but now all of a sudden we're citing them as some, you know, source for information that we must trust. It's just kind of crazy. And then none of it has anything to do with anything else, yet it all happened. And because it happened, these events happened at the same date at which this one particular thing happened on this chart, vis-a-vis, right? That must be the causation of the move or something. You know, and that's what I see this happen so much. And it's like, you know, it's kind of like, it's kind of become like this thing like ESPN Monday morning, you know, Sports Center, where you go to the office and everybody is regurgitating like the same exact things that they said on ESPN, as if like there's some sort of like baseball or football expert, as if they come up with these novel ideas themselves, whereas all they did was listen to Sports Center cycle 4 times in the morning while getting ready. And they're just literally saying exactly what they said on ESPN as if it's their own thoughts, right? So that's kind of what I've been seeing, like the news cycle, and we've all become like addicted to it. It feels like just we have to get abreast of the current news. We have to see what's going on. We have to do this or that. And my caution to myself and anybody else that's even here paying attention would be that, you know, you need to kind of like, you need to march to your own beat. You need to have your own plan, your own ideas, and understand your own situation to such a level that you can hear the information being presented to you, but you can choose what you allow to affect change in your life or not. So just don't be completely caught up on everything that you're seeing and hearing. That's one of those things. So I mean, I see it. It's the grind, right? The grind, especially of whatever your hobby or your interest is, right? Let's just go ahead and focus on precious metals because that's what most of us have in common here. Whatever that item is, we get obsessed with it and we look up to or respect people that either, you know, let's say stackers, right? You know, people that have a larger stack than us, or people that have been stacking longer than us, or people that have been in more metals cycles, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And we just inherently throw sort of prestige or a credibility onto those people. And I see it so much. It's like a clamoring, a race to try to discuss the most current news topic, to be relevant as fast as possible, to say something that somebody else didn't say. But again, it's all unrelated, uncorrelated BS that's just there for attention seeking. I was going to say a bad word, but hey, what's going on, 49s? How you doing, buddy? It's a whole bunch of the sky is blue and you should pay me for telling you that. Yeah. I mean, and 49s, like the thing about that is, it's like we're not talking explicitly about like, oh, you have a bullion dealer sponsorship, right? Like, it's not like, that's not the point. The point is that like, it's like when the cycle becomes the information, that's when it's like cautious for me. When there's like a genuine authenticity to say, hey, you know, this is what's happening. This is my, you know, my subjective opinion and thoughts on it based on my, you know, 20 years of experience in dealing with this. Like, that's a little different, right? That's a little bit, hey, what's up, Kevin Hawthorne? How you doing, big dog? That's like a little bit more analysis through it and thought provoking than a lot of this time when we just want to like Literally, we want to say silver is up this morning. It's because of XYZ news article that happened. Silver is down this evening. It's because of XYZ news article. Stop. Just stop. Everybody needs to just stop and breathe. Like, the prices fluctuate. Markets fluctuate. They are literally the reason they are markets is because they go up and down. If they were stuck at one flat rate and everybody got in and got out at that flat rate, it wouldn't even be a market. It would be an exchange, right? It'd be literally like government handing you something. It's just not. So we live in these markets, and then we act befuddled whenever things don't go the way we expect based on some randomness in the world that we attributed some price action to. And it's just crazy to watch. I don't want to say anything negative, but it's just like, I feel like it's almost distracting. I think it distracts people who aren't attuned to the machine. It distracts them from being able to be confident in their decisions and be proud of their plan and to have a solid backing, because I see people shift. And part of the reason I'm thinking about this, because I've seen people in my own community in conversations where they shift from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. And I know, because I watch a lot of the YouTube channels and the community and stuff, I know it's because they listen to XYZ person, and XYZ person said to do this, right? Or they recommended this. And it's like, you don't have to uproot your plan every month just because somebody who's chasing views or attention or sponsors or a credibility in their community, because they, whatever their motivation may be, you don't have to change your own strategy and plan at the whim of some random person you don't know. You don't know how much is truthful or fake. You don't know how much was given versus earned. Just stick to your plan. End of my day. Anyway, that was a little bit of a rant tangent to go on this morning or this evening at the first start of here. But what I really wanted to talk about, was this right here. I wanted to talk about scarcity. I wanted to talk about collecting, prized possessions. And I've got some coins here that many of you have already seen before. But there's something right here in the middle that I don't think any of you have seen. And it's this bad boy right here. Oh, I didn't mean to flip it like that. That was not the way I wanted to reveal it. But it's this little nugget right here. And this is, as you know, a Walking Liberty $50, as I am trying to collect these. And I started working on my graded coin collection and setting up a registry. If you are interested in my full journey with this, as we're going to learn how to grade and become a numismatist. What's up, TFT? My man. Good to see you, sir. The selfish shack. Wait, it's selfish now. It's not shelfish. All right. So selfish stacker. What's going on, bud? All right. So what I'm looking at here, this is a fine specimen, a very fine specimen, if you will, of a Walking Liberty $50. Now, why? You can tell this coin is not BU, right? This is a circulated coin. So why would I care too much about it? Well, I don't know how many of you know anything about the Walking Liberty $50 series, but this coin in particular is the 1921S. It is graded in VF25, and this is that coin. So I am extremely proud to own this coin. It's not obviously the best version of this coin that exists in the world, but it is a dang fine example, a very fine, if you will, example of this coin. And this is what would be called a key date, right? So all the 1920s, the triplets of the 1921s, 1921 Philly, 1921 San Francisco, and 1921 Denver, are all key dates, meaning they're very short minted. This one had I think it was under 241,000 or so total mintage ever. So 241,000 ever minted. And in this quality, if you're interested, check this out, boys. Check this out. Let me show you what I am talking about here. I'm having to manually change my screen because my Streamlab thing is not working. So here we go. Let me switch it over. Look at this. Oh, sorry. Here's precious metals if you care. Here's the coin itself. All right. Here is the exact coin that we have. Let me make it a little bit bigger for you guys. So you can see the registry, registration number, 1921S, VF25. This is the coin. Now, here's the thing that is special about it. It's right here. total graded by NGC of this coin, in the condition that I own it, there are only 119 copies listed by NGC. Now remember, sometimes people will send the same coin in multiple times to get regraded. They crack it out, try it again, crack it out, try it again, because they're trying to get a higher or lower, a higher grade typically. But I would imagine it's too many. But the quantity of this coin in a higher grade than what I own it, there's only 334. Okay, so there's only 334 copies by NGC of this coin in a better graded condition. Now, some might be ungraded out there. I don't know. But we have a world of billions of people, right? We have a country of hundreds of millions of people. There's not very many people in this world, on this earth, that can own the coin that I own in the condition that it's in or better. And I think that's pretty special. It's pretty cool. And it was, really it's Catcom. If you guys know Catcom talking to me, he's the one that convinced me to start looking at some of the more key dates and picking those up. Now, this is not the most expensive coin you can ever get by a walker by any means, right? This coin, there was one available of this coin in a much nicer condition for $65,000, and I declined. I declined that purchase. Right? I'm not there yet. So then I went to PCGS and we went to their population report. So I was just curious, right? Because it's not the only one that can grade it. So if I go to VF25, so let's go right here. All right, let's just do it real quick. 50, 80, 100. Let's call it 110, 150, 170. Right there, 184. And then let's go 284 or so right there between those, 300, 300. So there's about, let's just call it rounded up to 310 of these in PCGS that are of a higher grade. So now we're looking at, 650 or so, let's just call it, whatever, rounding extremes here. So there's about 650 between both grading companies, right? So still, we're talking about not very many of these exist in a world, in the world at a much higher grade, because these were heavily circulated, right? These suckers have gone through wars. These suckers have gone through Great Depressions, recessions, all sorts of things, right? And they are still standing, still walking, if you will. And I think that's pretty special. So I'm really proud to have that thing in my collection now. I've been trying to, I'm gonna have to take a couple weeks off here from picking up any kind of like nicer stuff like that. But now this is really the second sort of what you can call, like, I guess, middle class graded numismatic coin that I have. And the reason I bring stuff like this up, and I kind of tie this in with what the conversation was earlier, is right. Like, do you guys really think that, like, okay, if this coin is $1,200 or whatever, I got it for, if you care, I got it for $1,100. Okay. And fair market value, recent sales and stuff, honestly, that's around pretty fair value. So I've seen some sell for like 900 something and some sell for 1,200 plus. So I feel like this was very fair value that we worked on. Me and the seller of this kind of communicated in eBay for a little bit until we came to an agreement here. But do you think I care if silver is like, does this coin's value really care that much if silver's melt value goes from 75 to 55? Right? Not really. Not really. Now, maybe that takes attention away from precious metals for a little bit, and the market shrinks up a little bit, and demand goes down for these types of items a little bit. That's all possible. That's part of a market cycle. It has nothing to do with Iran. It has nothing to do with Ukraine. It has nothing to do with oil. It has nothing to do with how your mom slept last night. It has nothing to do with what celebrities say ridiculous things on talk shows. Like, it has nothing to do with any of that. It only has to do with the current demand of this type of item in the market that we're in for this particular series, right? That's it. That's all that matters. And none of it matters. So part of like my strategy is, now that I've got a decent sized core stack for what I want, I can start to branch out into some of these more specialized numismatic type things. So I hope all this makes sense to everybody, what I was getting at and why I was circling back to it. It's not, to me, again, it's not all that complicated of a situation here. And I still think that, if you're somebody's picking up your stack, keep picking up the generic 999 silver at spot or under spot. Do whatever you can do. And then when you get there, when you met your strategies, your goals, right? Then you can either see like, hey, do you want to adjust your goal? Or are you done? Do you want to just wipe your hands clean and be like, I got my stack, I'm done. I'm going to move on to something else, or I'm just going to, enjoy my life and spend my money, like whatever. Again, don't be so bought into the news cycles that you shift every single little thing that you're doing at all times. So, anyway, I appreciate you guys watching that. All I wanted to do was really spend some time here and take a second to share with you guys the recent pickups, while also kind of talking about what I've been seeing in the markets. You guys care about the charts, man, which I care about the charts more than I care about the news. We've found a very good channel. The last 6 months have been very steady. We're just looking at silver. Now that we go to the 6-month chart, which is crazy. When I go to the 6-month chart, we don't even see the January spike anymore. Isn't that crazy? It doesn't seem like the January spike was that long ago, to be frank. But now the 6-month chart doesn't even show it. We see the aftermath of it right there. But yeah, just looking at this, we are remember that day. We're cool as a cucumber right now, boys and girls. We are cool as a cucumber. You can just make up your own lines and have fun with it because nobody knows anything. Look at this. I mean, we have found what I believe is a pretty clear range, right? Channel range. It's not that complicated. I can tell you guys, frankly, there's two things that I'm trading on the markets. WTI. I just trade WTI every day and try to make like $100 a day on that. And then I trade SLV. It's a little bit longer of a trade, like a week, but when it gets down below 75, buy some shares of SLV. And then when it gets above about 80, sell some shares of SLV. It's not, I don't know. I don't really lose much sleep or have much stress over all these things. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe people need to have headlines like, some random guy named Jeffrey said that silver might be $300 an ounce if it does all these different random parabolic moves that are unjustified for any reason. We could talk about that stuff if you guys ever want to talk about that stuff. I just find it very boring and distracting and false, to be quite frank. And I don't really like to present anything that I don't believe myself to be true. So as of right now, I'm just chilling. I think we finally have found some stability. I feel like this is where we're going to be for the next 6 months or so. I would imagine that we're going to kind of hang out in these ranges. We might have some spikes up, we might have some dips down below these things, but for the most part, I think we're going to hang out in this range until probably later in the year. And then who knows what happens when the fourth quarter ends and people have to readjust their account balances and portfolio balances. And then who knows what happens, right? Exactly, TFT. You got it. Is silver or gold worth buying? I mean, yeah, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it be, Surfer? It's great seeing you explore the new venture with these coins. Dude, I love these coins, man. I love these coins. I think that these have we talked about it last month kind of go, right? When I really started talking about all these numismatic stuff, but these have actually been what's gotten me back interested in stacking, right? Because when you just are stacking, I don't know, bullion and bars and rounds and stuff, it honestly gets kind of boring. It honestly gets kind of boring to even talk about, right? Like, hey guys, look what I picked up. Hey, it's 8 buffaloes and 10 ASEs and buffalo bars. It's yippee ki-yay, right? But this has been just a new learning experience. I can dig into these things. I can look at these markets. I can try to understand what's going on. And going from there. So it's a lot of fun. Stacking Surfer, just sorry, I wasn't trying to blow you off there, your question. And I mean, you have a large channel that covers all this stuff too, so I'm sure you have your own opinions about this. But and I was just trying to answer somebody else's comments before that. But yeah, I think silver and gold's absolutely worth buying. I can say that with confidence because I buy every week, and everybody in the Discord sees all the crap that I'm buying all the time. Anyway, I buy gold, silver, platinum, and copper right now. Copper is not for stacking; it's just for fun and giveaways, and cool designs. blah blah blah, right? But platinum, gold, and silver, I am definitely still buying. I think it's worth still buying. Now, is it worth an individual listening to me buying it? I have no freaking idea, man. It depends on their financial situation. What's their cash flow like? You know, what are their expenses like? How much of a emergency savings do they have saved up? How much investments do they have diversified in different types of assets? What's their life expectancy? Do they have kids in college where they need the money now? Like, do you have any medical expenses coming up soon? Like, I don't know, man. The sad part is, again, none of this is financial advice. The reality is, though, I actually am a licensed financial advisor. So I would never in my life try to give an individual advice on what they should and shouldn't do with their own money. I just share what I'm doing and try to explain as best I can what I see going on with silver and gold and why I stack. And my purpose for stacking, my primary focus for stacking was to break down my asset allocation to where I could have 5% of my assets in precious metals for silver, gold, or platinum, really. And with the extreme run up in prices over the last year, I hit the 5% goal, and I continue to heavily invest in a lot of other places like real estate and stock market primarily, and I've increased those significantly. So now I'm going to increase my gold and silver position kind of congruent with that. So I just keep, like, it's just like a balloon, right? I just keep blowing up this balloon, and as one side gets larger and a little bit off balance, then I might inflate the other sides a little bit, and I just have fun with it. So you're hunting sovereign coins from North, Central, and South America. Hey, what's up, Nightflux? Want mints from each continent. That's cool. Yeah. Does every continent have a mint? I would imagine so, right? No, Asia does. You know, Europe does. Africa, right? South Africa does. Australia. Yeah, I guess so. That's awesome. Yeah, good idea. I never really thought about it. I know I watch like FG Stacker, and he has all of his world coins all over the place, right? And for me watching him collect coins from like every single country on the earth, which is just, it's really cool. It's really cool to see that. So I appreciate that. Nightflux Hobbies, good to see you, man. Been a long time, brother. Been a long time. It's good to see you. Action breeds success. Good evening, thanks for hopping here. We kind of have a slow start here. I've kind of gone over a little bit of the juice. Like, again, if you guys are just joining us, the main point of this was I just wanted to share this recent pickup, the 1921S in VF25. Between NGC and PCGS, there's only 650 or more so coins in a better graded condition than this that exist in the world. And so I just found this to be exciting, and I wanted to share it with everybody. I posted some pictures in the Discord for everybody, but I just wanted to go talk about this, and I just wanted to caution people, like, don't get so caught up in news cycles, right? Like, don't get so caught up in trying to force correlations that don't exist. Just believe in, just believe in your own plan and your own strategy. You can supplement information, but like, don't be like a leaf in the wind, right? And like, you're getting blown every direction that you're hearing, and you're changing your strategy every month based on whatever news cycle is out there or whatever's being promoted. Like, just relax. Warhammer Weekend Times, good to see you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Action Breed Success. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Like, it's probably not doing much for anybody who, wants to see like a beautiful 5-ounce, proof coin or something. I get it. This is just a half US half dollar, but if it's one of those things, like, if you know, right? And I'm going to be saving up to pick up some more key date items. So I already have some of them. I do need, in graded coins, I need to pick up the 21D and the 21 regular. I have the fillers for my album. So we're going to be looking at those soon, and I'm going to try to, I think my strategy is going to be to get all the key dates in VF25, the ones that are like 100 grand for MS65. And then the rest of the set, the rest of the collection is going to be all in MS65s like this coin. So we have a lot of these 65s. My goal is, there's a lot of people asking about the collection, or at least talking about it. My goal with the collection is to have all of the coins in MS65, but not just any MS65. I need them to be blast white with no real like fractures on the devices and fields. I don't want any toning or spotting. I want them to be just really, really great, pristine examples of this coin. And then what I'm going to do, I've shown it on my face cam stuff, but I have a very large, like, it's for trading cards, but it's like a graded trading card cabinet, like locks and stuff on it. And I'm going to get one of those for these coins because there's 65 of these coins in this series. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of them up on the wall in that whole series. And so my key dates will be VF25 because I just can't afford to do the 65s. That would cost like, it's like $1 million to have the full 65 set or more these days. It's just not a reasonable amount right now for what I'm doing. So I'll pick up the VF25s on the lesser or the more expensive coins, and then I'll get 65s on the, you know, the $100 to $500 range coins, and we'll go from there. So it's cool. Hey, Silver, good to see you. Warhammer Weekend Time says, preach, Dragoon. So many people flip-flop on GSR, don't trust their own plan forward. Yeah, and I get it. It's exciting. Like, I'm not saying it's not exciting to monitor the GSR or to monitor the prices, right? I mean, my one of my careers is monitoring prices and charts and trying to understand things and trying to guide people with how to spend their money, right? But that doesn't translate to the purpose of the videos, right? For me, at least. I'm not trying to do that on these. For me, these are just just an outlet to enjoy precious metals and to share precious metals and to talk about their utility sort of in a portfolio. What's going on, Sober? How you been, man? How many days sober are we today? Huh? I woke up sober this morning because I went to bed sober last night. Brilliance, are you getting back on about that 17-1 GSR? Oh my gosh. I thought it was actually 8-1 out of the earth. Is that not correct? Brilliance, or are you saying like that was back in the past, now it's 17-1? Dude, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in our little community here that always yell at me because I told them that I think 60-1 is pretty fair. I always thought 60-1 was a good price because I think my opinion is that price structure is completely disconnected from reality anymore. It's no longer associated with the effort it takes to mine it. I understand that there's, you know, demand for silver and industrial demand and the supply is shrinking. I understand all those factors, but I think that because we live in these digital markets, right, with all of these contracts that don't represent true physical silver anyway, the disconnect causes it to disassociate, I guess, to the true earth crust and precious metal quantities that have been discovered, if that makes sense. But you and many others are constantly, you know, telling me that you believe that it should be much lower than 30-1, and you're not the only one, buddy. And I appreciate you sticking to your guns and saying your piece. And you know, hey, we may look up one day, and I may have to eat crow and say you're right, I'm wrong, and I'll be happy to do it. I'll be happy to do it because when that day comes, well, let's just assume it comes because gold doesn't collapse down to like nothing. But if it comes because silver skyrockets up, we're all going to be winners in that situation, right? So I'll take it. 1600 and some change. What is that, Sober? Oh, 1600 days and some change? Hell yeah, baby. Let's go. I'm having some Diet Cola right now, right? I almost bought a very high proof trade dollar. Couldn't do it yet. Yeah, I mean, you know, just understand, like, one thing with these things is, you know, sure, there are some plenty of savvy coin dealers out there that understand the values of these things, but they're not going to give you, you know, they're probably not going to give me fair market price, you know, what I paid for it. I can probably expect a discount. I buy this stuff. This stuff I'm expecting to have when I'm a grandpa talking to my grandkids or great grandkids about precious metals and showing them my collection and letting them see the coins and hold them and like teaching them about them. And I'm hoping that in those, you know, 30 years from now, that the natural inflationary accumulation of these prices has gone up pretty high. And obviously, you know, these are going to continue to be melted. Let's not lie to ourselves, right? Like, these get melted at a pretty high clip, even though the refiners have, like, you know, limited the amount that they're taking in right now. They're still getting melted, and they're still going into backlogs to be melted, and they're hard for anything that's hard for the LCS to sell or to make profit on, they're just going to dump it on the refiners and wholesalers and get rid of it. So the supply on this stuff is continuing to reduce every single year over year over year over year. I'm not trying to sell you on 90% constitutional silver. I'm just trying to explain, like, I think some of the more numismatic pieces, some of the more rare key date type pieces and stuff, they're only going to get rarer. And as the population of the earth continues to increase, right, the quantity, the number of people that can actually own these is gonna, you know, proportionally get lower too. So it'll be interesting. Half the fun of my silver collection is doing it with my son. That's cool, Nightflux. Yeah. My daughter's not into it. My wife tolerates it, right? My wife does tolerate it, but my daughter gives no concern. She's too young to care about this. Now, she does learn, she does understand the value of money, which is good. I think I've done a pretty good job of teaching her financial responsibility and living frugally and budgeting. And so we'll give her like $30 to go to the mall with her friends, and we'll tell her, you know, hey, you can spend this money, but, you know, make sure you have enough to pay for your meal. If you guys stop to get a meal, we don't want the other family or something to like cover your meal for you. So you need to pay for your meal. And you can spend it on whatever you want, but that's all you're going to get. And if you save some of it, well, then you can add it to, you know, your budget for the next time you go to the mall. And so she'll do that. And every now and then she'll like want something, you know, a game or something on her tablet. And then she'll try to find a way to raise the money doing chores and stuff. So, you know, I try to teach the utility of money as a vehicle to get what you want, but also that, you know, you don't want to blow it all at once, because then you don't have any and you can't get the other things that you need, like food. So I don't know. She seems to pick up on it, but yeah, collecting precious metals, nah, not her thing. Not her thing. We tried to get her into sorting pennies with us. My wife and I were sorting, you know, pennies, looking for 1982s, and then I ended up buying like 40 pounds of I ended up buying 40 pounds of copper pennies, and then we were sorting them, looking for wheat pennies and Canadian cents and all that kind of stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. Or, you know, key dates and filling out the albums too. Diet soda terminates your gut bacterium and limits your gut's ability to absorb nutrients. Teeth will direct decay rapidly after some time passes. Yeah, it's not the worst thing that I've done to my life. My body's in shambles after living my life. My body's wrecked. I'll be lucky to not have bionic elbows and knees and backs by 65 after what I did to it. So I appreciate the heads up, though. Asked my wife if she wants to see some shiny coins. She replied, unless it came from a pirate shipwreck, no thank you. Hey man, hey, I think that you just got permission to go buy some shipwreck gold. I absolutely think you got permission to go buy some shipwreck gold. You should go do it. You should definitely go do it. But I don't really have that much else to talk about today, guys. I really wanted to just, you know, it was on my mind to talk about how the news cycle kind of affects people. I've seen people become wishy-washy and what they wanted to stack. So I wanted to address that from my own perspective here. And then also just kind of wanted to share. I was really excited to get that coin, and I wanted to share it with you guys and let you guys see it in person, in the flesh almost, right? Not just the images I posted, but yeah. It is, you know, we looked it up right here, right? This is the coin itself. And again, from NGC, there's only 334 in a higher grade that exist. And I can show you guys real quick. Hold on, let me pull this up. If you want to see something crazy, watch this. Watch this. Walking Liberty $50. 1921 S. 1 second. Let's do that, and let's sort by. All right, so let's see what we got here. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, yeah. You want to know why I chose not to do the 65, the MS65 level on the walkers? This is why right here. So 1921, that's a beautiful coin, though. I will say that is a beautiful coin. MS65 Plus with the gold PCGS label, beautiful coin. $231,000. Yeah. MS65 with the green CAC label, $157,000. MS64, $77,000. Now these are sale prices, right? These are not. These are sale prices. These are not sold prices, but still, take it with a grain of salt. What's going on, Frodo? How you doing? Brilliance, did you see that guy drill a brain chip in his head? What? Drill a brain chip? Are you talking about Neuralink or something? Neuralink I've seen. But yeah, so if you guys were wondering why I chose not to get, this one's actually, this is the 1921D, not 1921S. So the 1921D series has 540,000 minted, whereas the 1921S only has like 241,000 minted. So there's a significant difference in the price between the D and the S. The D is still a key date though, so we definitely need to respect that. But yeah, you can see the difference in the prices, guys. And yeah, that's why this is why right here. Yeah, stacking server, it's a pricey one. This is why we stuck with the VF25. Okay. This is a little bit beyond my budget for one coin. And the thing is about these, like, you would have to look at fair market value, but will something like this potentially go up in value in the future? Yes, it very likely will. But the quantity of buyers who can even afford it is so light that you're probably going to have to sell it on a high-end auction with a lot of advertisement for that auction, right? And or some special private deal. And that is an absolute, like, I'm sorry, like, I'm getting like mesmerized. This coin, remember what I was telling you guys about no toning and like bright, blast white? This coin right here, we're gonna have to watch that one. Not gonna be anytime soon, but that is a beautiful coin right there. Like, that is a beautiful image of the 1921S Walker right there. So very cool stuff. But yeah, if you really wanted to know why we chose not to go with the 65s on this key date series up here, this is why. So I had to make a concession for myself, and yeah, I had to make a concession. This makes it sound better. Like as if Neuralink makes it sound better. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, Neuralink is helping, paralyzed people be more functioning. So I do think there's some definite health benefits and good in it. But I think there's also, we have to make sure that the wrong reasons, it doesn't get used for wrong reasons. Some of these, I'm looking at these now, like, some of these are not too far off from the stretch of what I would consider probably. But I do a lot of research before making an offer on any coin. And so I go through all the different price guides. I look for all the recent sales. I look through it's so many different auction house sales and everything to try to see what a true fair market is. And the quite honestly, not many of these coins actually sell per year in these price ranges. So you're looking sometimes at data from 2 or 3 years ago and trying to do your best judgment on how things have appreciated since then. And sometimes you have to look at coins graded around the grade that you're looking at and see what those prices were fluctuating. Look at the range of those plus the range above, and then you're trying to find like a happy medium in between. So it takes a little bit of negotiating. I would never just click buy, right? Like unless you just know it so well that you know that it's underpriced. But I don't know them so well. But anyway, you can see kind of where I was in my ballpark and I got my coin for 1,100 for the VF25. So if that helps you out, you'll take them all, Brilliance. Yeah, I would take some of these guys too. Also, I do not buy coins in this price range. I do not buy them raw. I buy them from a graded slab from basically one of the top 2 or 3. I would probably do Annex if I had to, but I'm trying to. I'm not a big fan of Annex, to be honest. So, but yeah, and then I check all the certifications. You can ask the seller to send you an image with their date stamp on it to prove that they own the coin, etc. Like, you can go through a lot, but I would never buy like a raw coin. I'm sorry. I just don't trust that it would be real or to be anywhere near the grade that they're representing it at. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. So there's the journey. That's the newest collection, our newest piece of the collection to our journey. I will update the registries that I have on NGC and PCGS. Again, if you're trying to follow along in our little journey here about these collections and stuff, go for it and have fun with it. But yeah, appreciate you guys hanging out here, just listening to this little discussion. Hope you're well. Yeah, I actually took off the next few days for my pet's having a surgery. My wife's having a birthday. So when I took off the rest of the week and, which AKA means that I'm just going to attend work meetings for a few hours a day, but it is what it is, right? Thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. Continue having fun with your stack. Enjoy yourselves. Don't take things so seriously. It's gonna work out, boys. It's gonna work out. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful rest of your evening. I'll see you later.